Every week, a new band. Brought to you by NZ On Air. Active Life! Yeah.
Thank you guys, and welcome to today's Radioactive live on 88.6 FM, brought to you by New Zealand On Air Music. I'm Charlotte, your host, and you were just listening to LEAO live in the studio. They've been making waves with their unique blend of new wave and Pacifica neo-psychedelia, fusing together traditional Pacifica music with contemporary indie rock sensibilities. How are you guys doing today? Thanks so much for coming in.
Thanks for having us.
Awesome. Can you tell us a bit about that track that we just heard?
Mea uma means everything. The language which we're performing in is Samoan. And that song first started off with the outro, which the band wrote together. And then it wouldn't be till maybe like a year after we had that initial idea that we sort of filled out the rest of the song. And the lyrics sort of just, it's a tribute to a fictional sort of character who, you know, this character who's like a storyteller, you know, giving thanks and tribute to someone who, you know, enlightens us and gives us stories to share.
Yeah, lovely. And now you guys released your first EP out in 2019. So you've been around for a while. Can you kind of give us a bit of the background on how LEAO came to be, and also just introduce yourselves too?
Do you want to do the intro part first? You just introduce yourself.
Kia ora. Ko Rahana Tito Taylor tōku ingoa from Taitokere, and I play the drums for LEAO.
Hello, my name is Navakato Tokelauan, and I play the bass for LEAO.
Malo Tui Fua. My name is David Whewaiafese, and I play rhythm guitar and vocals for LEAO.
Kia ora, my name is Levi Gimmel and I play the steel guitar.
Yeah, do you play for, bro?
Thank you guys so much for the intros. And how did you guys get together and form LEAO?
LEAO first started as a proposition from Rahana over here. I had actually gone to meet him to pick up a cassette tape that Nava made. And we were just talking about a lot of things, music and, you know, different ideas we sort of come across during that summer of 2018 to 19. And Larson just sort of proposed like, hey, why don't we start a alternative Samoan project? And I was like, hadn't really thought about it. So yeah, gave it a crack, and, you know, Ghost Roads came to fruition from that conversation. And, you know, Nava was mutual friends between me and Larson during that sort of forming period. And then Levi, you were doing a multi-studies paper with Larson, eh? Well, oh, true. Well, these guys met at uni, and then Rahana was just like, you should meet Levi. This would have been maybe mid-2019, and then 2020, so the following year, we're like, I think it would be awesome if we had Levi join our troupe. So yeah, that's how, and I guess the rest is sort of history. We're just really good friends and, you know, love making music together.
Yeah, awesome. And I've been listening to the EP Ghost Roads that you released, and it sounds incredible. So it's awesome that you guys came together and released some music. And now, as mentioned as well, you've got a lot of Pacifica spirit central in your music, but also push into new sonic territories, exploring indie rock alongside of it. How do you kind of blend the two together to release music, and what's like your creative process as a band?
Do you want to talk about Nirvana?
One thing that I have observed is that we all trust each other to do the job, and we all trust each other's taste. and I think that works really well for us.
Yeah, beautiful. I feel like that's an important part in making music together as a band, so that's awesome to hear. You're also a part of NOAA Records, which connects you to a wider Pan-Moana collective. How has that kind of community shaped your music and approach to writing and releasing?
I guess, did you want to speak to that, Larson? Just for the record, NOAA Records is also the four of us.
Thank you, Charlotte.
I think we're just kind of doing what we do, but also, I guess it relates that we had this conversation on the plane talking about whakapapa. I feel like, particularly with LEAO, it's something I'm mindful of. There's many layers of that, like that. Yeah, I guess talking about whakapapa in the sense of our like musical connection, or like the traditions of the lap steel or pedal steel and island music, Samoan music. For me, like elements of jazz, free jazz come in subtle ways. So, I guess we're just kind of being ourselves and always finding the threads that connect the different traditions or sensibilities that we come from. I guess that's the best way I could answer that. Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful. And how would you or are there any other musicians and artists in New Zealand that kind of inspire LEAO's music as well?
I think it's hard to pinpoint it to like a few or one particular artist, and like in terms of the sort of sonic soundscape that LEAO has become, I think it's quite hard to really give, like we struggle a lot trying to describe the music to people, because to us it's specific music that we've always wanted to hear and that we want to make, and that hasn't really had any precedence beforehand. But with that said, we also have, a vast community of people up in Auckland who we love and have mentored us and have been really great friends with us. One namely like Yolanda Fagan. Yolanda has been there from the very start of our journey, and she's a force in of herself, as a musician, and the most wonderful person.
Yeah, awesome. It's so cool to hear you've got such a nice community up in Auckland supporting LEAO. Shall we hear the next song?
Mm-hmm.
Maule pe alo fani, isili e mo le vasai.
Awesome, thank you. Can you tell us a bit about that track?
That song's called Tumu Tumu Maunga. It means the top of the mountain. A lot of the times when I'm writing the lyrics to the songs, they're quite stream of consciousness. And I think with that song, I was sort of capturing sort of like a feeling of the feeling at when you're experiencing when you're out in nature and you sort of have the sun on your face. That's a really nice feeling, and using that as a sort of allegory to whatever you're going through, the sunlight's going to come back at some point. And I think that might have been one of the very first songs that we put together once we finally had the 4-piece. So 2020, and that song's just been sitting on once we finally put it on an album.
Beautiful. I feel like we need a bit of that sunshine kind of vibe as well. At the moment, it's been a bit not lovely weather, to say the least. But yeah, beautiful. And now you've also worked on a few film scores for different films and series, including the recently released film Tina. How is it writing music for the big screen? And how does it feel as well to hear your music as part of a movie?
Well, Charlotte, it was a really beautiful movie.
Yeah.
So it felt quite good to see and hear something that was made between us in a theatre filled with other brown faces. It was quite amazing.
Yeah, awesome. And now your live sets have a reputation for being real high energy, and I feel like I felt that a lot in the last track just played. How do you kind of channel this energy into your live shows? Have you got any pre-show rituals between you guys?
Usually a Guinness goes down well. But mostly just, what Navar and Larson were referring to before about this trust in each other's sensibilities and tastes, comes from a lot of music that we all collectively listen to, being quite virtuosic and fast, particularly speaking about Tahitian or Rarotongan music. That stuff's going at 120 kilometers per hour. And, because it's music that we love, in our own free times, even away from the LEAO stuff, we're trying to play ukulele as fast as we can, doing little exercises and stretches to try and get a more loose wrist. So I feel like the stuff that we learn to try and emulate our heroes, we just sort of naturally channel into what we end up making for LEAO.
Yeah, awesome. And on the topic of live shows too, you guys are playing tomorrow at Great Sounds Great, 9 o'clock at the Rogue Vagabond stage. This is your first gig out of Auckland for a while now. How does it feel to be playing a show in Welly tomorrow night?
Feels great. Yeah, we really enjoyed when we were down here last year to support Tinari Win. And it was everyone in Wellington's so lovely, and it's nice to sort of be able to play somewhere that's outside of our usual stomping grounds. Introduce a bit of nerves again, which is nice. But exciting, yeah, really excited to be down here.
Yeah, for sure. It'll be such an amazing show. Lots of stuff happening tomorrow, and definitely check out LEAO at Rogue Vagabond if you'll be heading along to Great Sounds Great. And then what else is coming up next? Are there any other shows that LEAO have coming up apart from Great Sounds Great?
LEAO is doing a double headliner show at Meow in October with Romy Wrights.
That'll be a very good show to head along to. Can you tell the listeners where they could find tickets and information about the gig?
That's a good question. The Meow website.
Perfect.
Meow Nui. Meow website.
Awesome.
Meow venue.
Well, there you go, all the listeners. Check that one out.
Nah. Oh, do we?
No, it's just...
Okay, sorry.
You were asking a question off the mic and you're like, no.
We don't have
Sorry, this is a common occurrence in LEAO, rambling.
I don't think we have any other
Confusion.
shows. I think we actually do have a few other shows coming up, but I don't think we can say anything about them.
To be announced.
To be dreamed up.
Awesome. Well, to all the listeners, definitely check out LEAO and Romy Wright's coming up at Meow in October. Shall we get into the third and final song?
Okay. Sorry, mass confusion because I still have my tuning pedal on. We'll start that from the beginning.
Sera nei luna o le sami, lalolangi vai vai. Unato te mi wheloai, te whaanoa noa pea. Wawasina o whongoa le ngoa maliu, mai tape o le niu, malua e le la. Te ata ata leo te ata pea, ata peloi mata ua mo atu. Umailo ni mata te eba i le pota i tai o vai mati si valo uo pianga i la lo le la o le mo ingilo tingala e toi titita o fooled the light, dancing in this hilarious night, haunted by the sun's moonlight, waiting for the moon to rise.
Awesome. Can you tell us a bit about that track?
That track usually starts off a lot smoother. That song is Siva Masina, which translates to Dance of the Night, or Dance of the Moon, I mean. It's essentially like Ghost Roads was sort of written as a whole bunch of allegories to, I guess, really sort of a younger version of myself. Like, if you're going to go out, like, at least have fun and don't be stupid. So, Siva Masina is essentially like a, sort of like a enjoy yourself, embrace the night, take a friend. And yeah.
Awesome. And now you kind of hinted at some new music coming out. Can the listeners and I expect any new releases in the near future from LEAO?
Yeah, definitely. We've finished all the instrumentals for our new album. Are we announcing the name of the album? No. The it's in the document, bro. It's on the Google Drive. Sorry. It's yeah. So we got a new LEAO project that we've been working on this year, and I just need to cut the vocals, and then it'll be done.
Amazing.
But yeah, a whole bunch of new music to come.
Very exciting stuff. And now can the listeners find you guys anywhere to keep an eye and an ear out for when we can hear this new album and see what else LEAO is up to in the future?
You can follow the Noah Records Instagram, noah.records. Oh, do you put an at the start of the Instagram thing? Yes. Yeah. At noah.records. Sorry, I only have a LinkedIn.
That is all good. We can find you guys from that. And now here at Radioactive, we do this thing where each Active Live, I get a question from the last band to pass on to you guys, and then I'll grab a question from you to pass on to the next Active Live. So your question this week was, what's your favourite roller coaster?
Oh. Well, have any of us gone on a roller coaster?
I've only been on a few.
Life.
I was gonna
The roller coaster of
the
life.
3 bridges between Kaiwaka and Moerewa is my favorite roller coaster.
Nice. We need to go up there.
Awesome. And have you got a question to pass on to next week's Active Live?
If you had to travel anywhere, where would you go?
Beautiful. Well,
That's
we can
PG.
tune in to next week's Active Live to hear their answer to this question. Thank you guys so much for coming into the studio today
Thank you, Charlotte.
and playing some awesome tunes and answering some of my questions. Excited to see you guys play at Great Sounds Great. To all the listeners, it's 9 p.m. at the Rogue Vagabond stage. Yeah, just wanted to say a huge thanks for coming on. Excited to hear some new releases in the near future.
Thank you for having us, Charlotte, and thank you, River, for setting us all up.
Yeah, shout out Soundy. And yeah, so thanks so much for coming in today and blessing our ears this Friday Arvo on Radioactive FM's Active Live. And a massive thanks to New Zealand On Air Music for making this all possible. I've been Charlotte, your host, and you're tuned in to Radioactive 88.6. Thank you.
Active Live. Friday, 3:30. Every week a new band. In studio. Brought to you by NZ On Air.